everybody, Kimberly Olson here, coming in live to talk to you about the first 48 hours when you get that new recruit, how important it is to do the things I'm going to teach you in this video, because if you don't, they're not going to make it in most situations. So I'm going to welcome you guys on. Hello, I hope you guys are all doing awesome. How about all those Facebook glitches right now? Oh my word. We were traveling on a ferry. So we drove for an hour and a half, got to the ferry, you know, had to board and all that stuff. Then we were on the ferry for 4 hours. And then we got off and had a 2-hour drive. And in that time, I would try to like pop on when I could, when I would actually get Wi-Fi. And even here in the cabin where we're at, it's not working. So I realized that it wasn't just me. It was actually a little epidemic here. And it's so interesting to me, which you guys are gonna see more and more of this to come in the trainings I'm doing. Mastermind, we're gonna focus on this actually next month. And if you're in the Gold Diggers of Network Marketing, we're always talking about a little bit more advanced stuff. How important it is to make sure you have a list outside of Facebook. So if all your prospects are on Facebook, you guys, or all are on Instagram or one or the other, you've got to make sure you've got a couple different places, because you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. And also, I believe in an email list, because you own your email list. So keep sticking with me and I'll be able to teach all that stuff to you guys very shortly. We have something coming up actually mid-August that will be launching to help you out with that. Okay, so have you ever brought somebody on that you thought they were gonna be awesome? You're like, this person is a freaking rock star. They're gonna crush it. You're like so excited. And then they join and they do nothing. Have you ever had that happen? Let me know. Or have you ever brought somebody on board and you didn't know what to do with them? You're just like, I don't even know how to get this person started. I remember when I started in March of 2017. And I knew what network marketing was, but I had never done it. Like I'd signed up, but I was basically a kidnapper because I wanted to get the discount. And then I thought if I had a website, people would just come order. Like so naive. I had no clue. And so my friend that recruited me, she was like, you're going to be so awesome. And I'm like, okay, like totally freaking out. And so I remember I put it on my credit card and I told her, I'm like, we are literally getting ourselves out of debt right now. We've cut up our credit cards, but I had like my emergency one. And I have to make this money back before the credit card statement comes in, because my husband, you know, like we had an agreement. We weren't going to put stuff on credit cards. And she's like, no, it's cool. So I'm like, okay. So I sign up finally right after I build a bridge and get over it. And guess what? I was like, now what do I do? She's like, go friend so-and-so. She's like, what else did she have? I didn't even have the product yet. Like I bought it without even ordering it. And so it was just this weird, like no direction. So I promised myself I would figure out a system for my people, because I like systems and automation. And then I would make sure that they were all set to go. So I'm going to talk to you guys about that today. The key though, and I learned this from Rob Sperry in his book. He's got a free ebook. If you go to robsperry.com, can someone drop this in the comments for me? robsperry.com/blueprint. It's a free ebook. It's one of the first books I read when I started learning about social media, because I found Rob and I just love his content, because he's so big on holding that new person's hand and not letting go, you know, for a good 30 days, depending obviously. But he said the first 48 hours is key. You know, you've got to get them into activity. They need some small wins to propel themselves forward. So here's a couple things I want you guys to look for, and I want you to start implementing this today, okay? By the way, who here has an onboarding system? Let me know. Like, do you guys have like a set, like, okay, the person signed up, this is what we do next. I'm really curious to see on that, okay? First thing we want to do is we have got to get them, number one, we got to get them into activity right away. And this is why. You forget, because you're like in it, right? Like you're either really diehard committed. You're like, I'm not quitting till I hit my goals, which we're going to talk about goal setting on Monday night, by the way. Or you are doing well. So you're like, this is easy. I don't understand why people don't get this, right? You're probably one of those spots. Not everybody's like you, okay? So this is what you want to remember. When you're new, guys, the first thing that happens is the doubt. What did I just do? Maybe buyer's remorse. Maybe who here's ever not told your husband what you're doing? I was like, oh, Scott, hey, because my first company was shampoo. I'm like, oh, I just ordered this great shampoo. It's supposed to really help your hair grow. Because I was like losing hair from postpartum and stress, and you know, he's a dude, so every dude wants more hair. I was, you know, and I didn't even tell him I'd signed up to sell or do a business, right? And then I just kind of like hid it, like I didn't want anyone to know. It was so weird. But there's this doubt that creeps in, or this remorse, like what did I just do? The second thing is the naysayers. So for those that are a little more vocal with their spouses, or maybe your parents or whoever, and you're like, oh, I decided to jump in and do this business. Even worse, what if they tell somebody and the person shoots them down? Like, oh, you're going to do that? You can't make money doing that. That's a pyramid scheme. And they're like, what? It's the naysayers. So all of this could be potentially happening to them right off the get-go, and they have no conviction, right? Like it's like -0, like -5. They have no conviction, no buy-in. They just don't even know what's happening. So you've got to get them into activity right away so they start feeling like they're doing something and starting to get those successes, okay? Number 2, you must have a simple system in place. And I believe you have to have something internally for your people, not just the back office. How many companies, no offense to the companies, but they're not in the trenches like us. It is so different when you're building this business like I am in real time, okay? Freaking Facebook's down today. Like, what do you do with that? If you're working through Facebook Lives, how are you going to shift? How are you going to pivot? Okay, if you're watching the back office from some corporate model that they train to have do the videos, okay, we need some real stuff here. So don't rely on that because that's a little bit lazy. What I want you to do is say, okay, I've got a brand new person. What's the first thing we need to have them do? Okay, for our team, we have the whole thing automated. So we don't spend gazillions of hours one-on-one with people on Zooms. I want to be out there recruiting. I want to be working with my leaders. I don't want to be doing, hour-long, hour-and-a-half Zooms, right? That turn into, no offense, a therapy session sometimes. We want a system, people. Like, leverage your time. Your most valuable commodity is time. If you're sitting here spending all your time getting people up and running, again, you want to spend time with them in the right capacity, but the onboarding should be step-by-step, automated. What do they do first? What do they do second? What do they do third? How do you get them plugged in? And most importantly, I want it to be so simple. You guys, picture this for me. I want it to be so simple. Friday afternoon, your person jumps on board. They're like, I'm in. I just got my paycheck. I'm in. Cool. Okay, this is how you get started. You get them started, and then they say, oh, my friend's in. She wants to do it with me. What do I do with her? Let me show you. Here's what we tag her in this. She watches this, then we work her through here. We utilize the units tab. We work her through here, and this is what we do with her. So guess what you're doing? You're getting the new person up and running who is turning around and training their new person. It should be so simple that your Aunt Donna, who barely has a social media, she doesn't even know what Facebook is, she can do it. If Aunt Donna can do it, you guys get an A+, okay? You've got to have a system in place. Number 3 is to constantly affirm. You've got to be constantly affirming your new person. Now, a lot of you are the big hitters, meaning you're going big. You want comma checks, you want to be debt free, you want to quit your jobs, okay? That's awesome. That's where I'm at. I'm in the, I'm the 5% or whatever, somebody who's like, no, I have really big goals and big dreams. Okay. Most people are not that. They're just not. You're not the majority here. So the majority of the people that you bring on, they don't know what goal setting is. They don't maybe achieve a lot of things. They aren't appreciated at their job, might have kind of a downer household, maybe a spouse that puts them down. They're super stressed out. Why do you think they signed up? Either they needed the money or they wanted something that was their own. And so there's always a need, there's always a pain point. So why did they decide, right? Why did they come on board? We've got to affirm them. We have to lift them up. We want to celebrate the wins, because when they start to see that they're winning, even if it's so small that you're like, oh my word, you put me in 10 three-way chats today. Do you know how incredible that is? That's amazing. And shout them out to your team, because that is amazing. That's awesome. And then your team sees it and they're like, oh, wait, this person's like working. I need to be working, right? I need more chats. But what's really cool is the person starts to see that the activity is celebrated. Can you write that down if you guys are taking notes? I want you to celebrate the activity, especially when they're new. Okay, not just the rank advancements, not just the first customers and the first business builders, which is awesome. If you celebrate the activity, it's like that, like with a little kid, right? Oh, yay, you went potty, you get a potty prize. They correlate going pee with the potty prize. Not that it's children, but you get the point, right? What you can do is do the same thing. They will start to think activity is good. Kimberly is reinforcing that. Activity is good. Activity is good. Okay, activity is good. What do we want them to do? We want them to marry the process. We want them to be addicted to the activity and know that the results will come. We don't want them to be hung up on the results, especially if they're type A like me. And it takes a minute for some people, okay? This is new. You've never done this before. It took me a minute. I was getting a lot of customers. I was not heavily recruiting a lot of people to do the business with me. I just really wasn't asking, to be honest. I'm just very customer oriented. But if I would have been, you know, if she wouldn't have like really said, hey, good job, good job, good job, then I would have felt like I failed. Okay. So we want to celebrate the small wins, especially the ones focused on activity. And we want to continue to build them up, to build up their confidence and their self-esteem until they can build up their own self-confidence and self-esteem. Okay. So really, really pay attention to that. It's really important. Okay. Okay. So if this was helpful, I hope it was. Let people know. You guys know how to do that, to put the video in your teams. You know, you guys can do watch parties too. So if you ever see one of my trainings or another trainers that you're like, oh, I wish my team would see this, and you don't think they'll watch it, you can actually go into your team page and click, when you go to post, click watch party. If you copy the URL of this video, you can save it, by the way. There's 3 dots in the top right corner. Click save. That's what I do when I find a training I like. Save it. So you grab the URL, right click and grab it. And then on the watch party, it asks you for the URL. So you paste it in there, it'll pull the video up, and you hit and submit or whatever. And it says, Kimberly is hosting a watch party, and it notifies the whole group. So this is a really good way to get your team kind of around the campfire to learn, because you might be saying this stuff to them, but sometimes it just helps to hear it from somebody else. You know what I mean? So you guys, you could totally do a watch party with this. Okay. Last but not least, I have a master class. I already have 50 people signed up for it. So I'm doing a master class on Tuesday at noon. If you register for it, because it's a Zoom and it requires registration, if you register, you'll get the replay. So I know some of you work and stuff. It's during the day. It's noon Central, but it's on my 15 ways to find hot prospects. Because I know a lot of you are kind of feel like you're kind of running out of people. I'll be completely transparent. I have so many people that are in my funnel that I literally cannot keep up, which I know it's like, oh, poor Kimberly, but I want to show you how I got to that point, because I have it tracked. It says, this is how I found this person. This is how this person got into my funnel. I know exactly where all the people are coming from. So I counted them yesterday or 2 days ago, and I had 15. Yeah, 15. I think it was like actually a bonus one or two, but anyways. So if you want to know the 15 places to find hot prospects, okay, what I want you to do is just send me a message that says masterclass, and then I'll give you the link for it and you can register. And then if you do register, you'll get the replay like I said. Okay, I hope this is helpful. Have a great day, and we'll see you later. Bye.